Hello everyone and welcome to the FPL Cougars show. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kieran.
And today we are previewing Gameweek 13. Tonight's show will be discussing each of the upcoming Gameweek fixtures, predicting the potential key players, differentials and where the clean sheets might be coming from. We'll also be talking Captaincy, revealing our teams, planned transfers, the Cougar Cup picks, as well as answering some of your questions. Before we wanted to get into the show, we just want to shout out our own brand and say if you haven't subscribed to us on the platform you're currently watching or listening to us on, then do that right now because it'll make sure that people just don't miss a show, Kieran. That's right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Cool. And if you're not already following us on Twitter, we are found at FPL Cougars. What do we post up on there, Kieran?
Nonsense.
Nonsense, exactly.
Go follow us.
Go follow us. So if you want nonsense, memes, and a little bit of FPL advice and chit-chat, then that's the place to find it. Right then, let's talk about some football. Kieran, mate, game week 12 feels like so long ago, but let's recap it briefly before we get into this weekend's action. How did you get on again?
66 points, nearly
Okay.
the devil's number, but happy enough. Decently above average. The main source of my points was Vardy captain, which was really nice. Obviously captain my highest scorer, which is very rare this season. So he did well with 24 points. Obviously Sionku played him, got a clean sheet. Ryan, another hero week again for him with the fake clean sheet of losing 3-1 but getting 7 points and max bonus.
He's mammoth at the moment, isn't he?
He's so good, loving him. Trent blank, Rico blank, Lundstrom blank, Mane got me a goal, and then Tammy was the other return. Tierney stayed on my bench, first bench, didn't play at all, so no worry of him coming on at all. So that's me, 66 points, a game week rank of 773k. I went from 206k to a green arrow up to 169k, so small 30k ish green arrow. So nice. Decent at the moment. Probably about where I want to be at this time. It's good.
Yeah, no, I had a number with similar significance. I think it was 69. I mean, I'm not sure what it means, but people always mention it to me. Who did I captain? I captained Vardy like you. I can't really see how I got too many different points. Pope finally got a clean sheet for me. I had Tomori had 9 points and came in for me. Obviously,
that's the difference there.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. Abraham returned. De Bruyne and Sterling both blanked, as we all know. We did think it was going to be a funny week because of the Man City Liverpool game, but it did turn out to be reasonably high scoring, didn't it? Like the average 48 it's not especially low really. So the other players stepped up. It was good. In terms of my rank jump, I was 1.2 million, I think, before game week 12, and after it, I'm in the top 500,000. I'm like 480 something. So it was like a 700,000 ish rank jump. So that was very good.
Well, there's only like 30 odd points between us in overall points, and I'm on like 160k. So there's still the points are still tight. So.
Yeah, it is close.
Yeah.
Right then, who's done well, Kieran, in the Cougar Cup mini league?
Well, this guy had an absolute smashing week. I mean, crazy good score. So he got 97 points. It's Salah's squad from Simeone Bachelor, a great last name. 97 points, no chips played. He did 4 transfers though with an 8-point hit and still got 97 points, which is fantastic. And a game week rank of 849, so 3 digits.
Wow.
Yeah, really good. Overall rank of 8.3k, up from 39k. So overall actually having just a really good season. And he's the 14th in the Cup League at the moment. And literally everyone on his squad returned. So he had Ryan as well, the Tomori clean sheet and 3 bonus, Chilwell clean sheet, Salah, Mane, Pulisic, Maddison, Jimmy, Tammy, Vardy captain. Yeah, everyone he hit this week basically. So get on him.
Yeah, well done. I just noticed that the only person I don't think who returned for him was Lundstrom, and he had that goal ruled out, didn't he? So it could have been a full house there. So really nicely done. There's been a bit of movement again in the FPL Cougars mini league as well. It seems like Mark Marina? Mike Marina. He's jumped up into top spot now. Omar, who was leading the way, is down in third. So, and Michael Zordini, I think it is, in second place. So nice one, guys. We'll keep track of you and see how you get on throughout the season. In Cougar Cup picks, Kieran, how did we do?
Well, we both did well for once.
Look at this, points.
I picked Jimenez, who had Villa at home, 9 points, goal at the end of the game, which was nice to see. And you picked Danny Ings.
I did. Yeah.
He had Everton at home. He got 7 points, got a goal. November wise, I'm up to 10, and you're on 9. So I'm actually beating you for once in the month anyway. And then total wise, crept up nicely here to 33, and you're on 35. So only 2 points behind.
That's okay. Yeah, that's quite nice and close. So I take it it's just this game week that comes into account for the end of November, because there's not going to be two, is there?
Nope.
Oh, there might. Well, actually, no, there might be, because it's going to be close. I think. I'm not sure if there's another game week before December. Well, now we need to check. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the fixtures coming up this weekend. And I think that the big news, and it's sort of convenient, they're the first game of the week, is obviously Pochettino has been sacked by Tottenham. That was Tuesday evening, and then early this morning, I think it was, Mourinho was confirmed as their new manager. I mean, you and I have both had experience of Mourinho being our team Manchester United's coach for 3 years, and I thought he did pretty well in that time. It just didn't get backed. How do you see him getting on at Spurs?
I don't know. I don't think he's a better manager than Pochettino, really. Pochettino hasn't won much, but I don't know. I think he's sort of suited Spurs, and I don't think Jose will suit Spurs. So I think it's a strange appointment, honestly. There'll probably be a manager boost and bounce for a while, and then the inevitable sort of fall from grace. I'd imagine he's just a bit of a toxic man, Jose. So I don't imagine there's going to be much happy feelings around Spurs, to be honest.
It feels like he is just like a walking disaster, really, after like that second season, because every club he's been at, he causes so much trouble, and the squad really suffers for it. I mean, Manchester United is still sort of suffering, I'd say, somewhat from the fallout of him leaving, because they just replaced him poorly, but they didn't plan to replace him. So I feel like Spurs they've gone from one miserable manager at the end of his tenure to perhaps the only one who's more miserable than Pochettino. So I
mean, there's official pictures of him today, and he did not look particularly happy. So even if it's his unveiling, he doesn't look happy. So
I think they're probably going to start off though with a win here against West Ham. Would you say? I mean, West Ham have been so poor recently, haven't they?
I don't know. Someone said on Twitter that Spurs at home for West Ham is their sort of cup final. They're going to like to ruin the party for Spurs. I don't know. I imagine it's a Spurs win, but I think West Ham will put up a decent fight, to be honest.
Is that a goalkeeper, though? It's just the West Ham goalie. They've just not won a game or even played well with him in the side. And he was just flapping at things left, right and centre against Burnley before the international break. And I don't think if Pellegrini hasn't sorted that out, I think it's going to be this one is going to be a game for Kane and Son on that big pitch. I think they'll be looking to bounce or kickstart Jose's reign of a comfortable win here.
Well, you'd imagine so. Kane's hopefully not going to be playing deep lying mid in the Eric Dyer position. So, Kane would, you think, with Jose's sort of philosophy of just being a straight number 9 and just beat up the top instead of coming deeper. Yeah. And I think that should help him at least, and probably Son as well. I think those two should be nailed. He doesn't really rotate much as a manager, does he? So, I think those two are definitely good for the time being. Their defence should get better, shouldn't it? With the bus parking that Jose likes as well. I'm not opposed to getting any Spurs players at the moment. Gazaniga could be a good shout at 4.5 million for in goal. Their fixtures are good, so there's promise with them. Yeah,
well, it's just been such a difference, isn't it, between us, especially players like Kane. Kane's form for England and Kane's form in the Premier League. He had 4 goals and 1 assist in those 2 games for England over the international break. I mean, they were against absolute turd opposition. But in terms of the league, he's had 1 goal, 0 assists his last 4 for Spurs. XG of 0.8 and an expected assist of 0.3. So he's only just averaging more than 1 shot in the box per game in the last 4 as well. So he's only hit 5. He's had 2 big chances. So his numbers aren't especially great, but I wonder if he's one of those players who is just going to relish sort of a fresh start under a new manager.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even considering to bring him in, but I'm not sure I will. But he's in my thoughts for sure. I mean, speaking of Roberto last week, if he's going to be having a bad game again, he made 10 saves versus Burnley, even though he punched one into his own net. He, he only got 2 points, but if he didn't, concede 4 or something. How many did they concede? 3. If he didn't concede that many, like, he would have done well and probably got a few bonus. So 10 saves in any game is good for a keeper.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about Son then? I mean, you can tell I'm interested in Spurs attack now because I think all of their options are just. I'm hoping that the black cloud sort of over the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is going to be lifted a little bit, and they're going to start putting in. I mean, their form has been poor. I mean, they've not won in their last 12 away matches in Premier League. I think that coupled with the fact West Ham's defensive record, like I say, has been poor. They've conceded 2 goals in 5 of their last 6. I think this is just all sort of aligning for a good Spurs opening performance under Jose, and perhaps Son and Kane are going to spearhead it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to bring either of them in this week, but next week Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
If they do well this week, they actually have a good game, then that looks like a decent one to bring them in, and their fixtures after that are still good. Man United away is not great, obviously, but
well, Jose's going to be looking at that one thinking, how can I turn up some cause some trouble there.
And then Burnley at home and then Wolves away is like they've got decent fixtures, so I think this could be the time to get on them, if at all, to be honest. So Aguero down to someone in my team in order to get Son in might be quite good, or even just Kane straight away.
I've got a good fun stat for you with Son. He's actually 7th overall for players whose names end in Son in the last 4 game weeks. And I thought
he should be higher, right?
Well, exactly, that's what I thought. I mean, he's the first name, but to be outscored by 6 other people, just ending in Son, I thought that was quite a bad look for him. So yeah, maybe not on Son straight away. Who's standing out on the West Ham side of things?
Well, none of them are really in form, but the only guy to really speak about is obviously, there's 2 I'm going to speak about. So Yarmolenko, he's obviously 6 million, 4.8% owned, but he's been sort of sporadically played, and his minutes have been odd, but he's clearly their best attacker when he does play. So whenever he does play, I think he passes the eye test, and he often returns. So I've got down here, whenever he's played 70 minutes plus, he's gotten 8, 11, 9 and 8 in the games where he's played plus 70 minutes. So,
wow.
Why is Pellegrini not just playing the guy? Why is he benching him for 45 minutes? And it just doesn't really make sense. When, if I can see these stats, he can see these stats. Just play it the whole game. To be honest, I don't think anyone should really buy him. The fixtures aren't great, but if you got him, then hopefully he starts and he might do something. But yeah, I wouldn't be expecting too much from him. Another one is Snodgrass. 5.2 million. Now Lanzini's out for, I don't know, at least a month with his shoulder injury. Yeah. He's played 3 times 90 in a row since Lanzini's been out, and he's got 9, 9 and 2. So that's pretty good from him. 2 goals, and usually you think he's an assist machine, or maybe not machine, but he takes some set pieces, loves an assist, and I think he could be a shrewd purchase, possibly at that sort of 5.2 mark and 0.4% owned, so uber differential.
Yeah, not a bad shout. I like that one. All right, any more to say on this one?
No, let's move on.
Do you want to have a quick...
long enough.
Yeah, it was quite a long time. Do you want to have a quick prediction though for Jose's first game, because it is quite exciting?
Let's go 3-1 Spurs.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say 4-2. I think it's going to be really good. All right.
4-2, wow.
Yeah. Arsenal welcome Southampton to the Emirates at 3 p.m. I think this one on Saturday. Obviously, my man Danny Ings has been in the limelight recently because I've been beating him up for weeks. Cougar pick last week. Another tap in. And I swear, having watched back his goals again, every goal he scored this season has either been like a tap in, a ricochet off his leg, or it's like a defensive mistake. I don't actually think he scored many goals where he's like beat a few people and he's finished like in the top corner. So I don't know how long that's going to continue, Keek, but his points are all right. He's 19 points in the last 4, 2 goals, 4 bonus. So after this Arsenal away game, he's got Watford, Norwich, Newcastle and West Ham. I mean, surely, Kieran, he's primed and ready to go, isn't he?
So are you going to take that leap?
At last, I don't know if you remember, but it was obviously 2 weeks ago on the show now that I was really bigging up a secret differential player.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows now it's Danny Ings, and it's just the fixtures. But I'm undecided whether to bring him this week for this Arsenal away game or just wait a week for Watford Norwich. So yeah,
I mean, why not? It's Arsenal. They're not exactly Leicester defensively at the moment, are they? So no, nothing wrong with bringing Ings in. Obviously, his goals have been fluky, as you say. So yeah, I don't know.
The only sort of doubt I cast on myself bringing him in is that just because of how poor Southampton are, like they've lost 6 of their last 7, he is only scoring, or he's basically their only attacking threat in each of those games. And I don't know, can I really trust the team second from bottom? I think they're second bottom of the league right now. And I mean, I've had this trouble before with Pookie and Cantwell being what were good players in a bad team, and now they're just bad players in a bad team. I was wondering if the same thing might happen to Ings if Southampton's form dries up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that sort of price point is just a bit of a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get it right and Ings does return, then you'll be laughing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what about Arsenal? Are they going to look to be battering Southampton in this one? Is Aubameyang a good shout here?
Well, you would think so, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Arsenal altogether have been have the 4th lowest shots over the last 4 weeks. So
wow.
of any team. So their XG is now a 17th at 4.03 of all teams. They've only scored 4 goals, which is about right. But when your XG and your sort of goal is actually a line and it's so low, then that's not good. Behind the likes of Bournemouth, Newcastle, and even Sheffield United over the last 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And for Arsenal with Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, all those, that's not a good sign.
No way.
So Aubameyang versus Lacazette in the last 3 weeks, there's pretty much not much to kind of choose between them. But Aubameyang has had 6 shots versus Lacaz's 11, so that's quite a big difference.
That is big, yeah.
Aubameyang's had 2 on target, 3 in the box, and Lacazette has got 4 on target, 11 in the box. So all of his have been in the box for Lacazette. Big chances, 1 versus 1. An XG of 0.68 versus 1.08. So Lacazette, definitely above there. Goals-wise, it's 1 for Aubameyang and 0 for Lacazette. Key passes, 3 versus 4. An XA of 0.6 versus 0.8. So Lacazette winning in that one. Assists 2, obviously, the 0.8 making sense there.
Yeah.
And 12 versus 11 points altogether. So there's not really much in the points.
No.
Lacazette seems to be slightly ahead on the stats. I'm not sure if he's nailed or anything. So, but these next 4 fixtures for them probably couldn't be any better. Really, Southampton home, Norwich away, Brighton at home, West Ham you can't defend. You know, there's reasons to get them in, but attacking wise at the moment they just don't look in their best form at all. But
are you fancying a punt on one of those 2 instead of Aguero?
I've been thinking about it a lot, but at this moment probably not. I don't think it's the right time to get rid of Aguero, to be honest. So I don't know. I just don't trust Arsenal enough, to be honest. If you get him, I think he's worth captaining. He's one of the best captain shouts, Aubameyang. But still, they're not firing.
No, I'd
but
agree.
Maybe it's his game to do it.
Yeah, well, I also think that we can't trust their defence. Like when I was having a look at the numbers behind whether it was a good idea to bring Danny Ings this week, I noticed Arsenal kept 1 clean sheet in 6 at home this season. And I thought that might have been a little bit high. That only game was against Bournemouth, I think. I'm not sure if they won that one 1-0 or 2-0 in the end. But regardless, I just some of the teams they've welcomed to the Emirates who've managed to come away from there with something. But Burnley, maybe it was game week 2 when they snuck a return, Ashley Barnes. So I could see sort of like another scrappy goal coming Ings' way. I mean, how do you feel as a Tierney owner still?
It's a worry. It's a worry for sure. I might play him still. Apparently, I think Kolasinac sort of might have a sort of hamstring injury. It's not really been reported. He missed the last international for Bosnia, even though they couldn't sort of qualify anyway. So it might have been just he's gone home early.
Yeah.
But there's talk of him possibly with a hamstring sort of tweak. And I think Tierney is good to go. I don't think he's injured. So yeah, I might start him and just hope. Saints obviously, their XG isn't massive. Like Ings is the only one getting sort of tap-in lucky chances, but Arsenal are the kind of team to, deliver them up with a plenty. So I don't know. I probably will play him, and if he does anything, maybe a clean sheet, then that would be fantastic. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I think it's another one to monitor. If it was me, I think I'd see how he gets on in this game, and if he's benched again for this Europa League, I'd really consider just getting rid of him.
Yeah, he's on his way out. He's probably going to go to Robbo at some point. So yeah, he's ready to go. It's just when.
That makes sense. All right, we should move on and talk about Bournemouth against Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about Bournemouth? Because I know and I can see their fixtures coming up are pretty horrid.
Yeah, Wolves obviously at home this week, and then they've got Spurs away, Palace away, which is going to be difficult, obviously attacking wise. Liverpool at home, and then Chelsea away in the next 5.
Foul, isn't it?
Not looking great for them, but often they defy their sort of fixtures. They turn up when you least expect them to. But their XG over the last 4 weeks is 5.5, and they've only scored 2. Their XGC is 5.2, and they've conceded 2. So, real stats wise, they're kind of opposite of what you'd always expect of Bournemouth. You expect them to be attacking, and you don't expect them to concede very little, basically. Rico wise, a lot of people still own him, especially on Twitter. He's 14.1% owned, 4.3 million. He was subbed at 65 minutes last week, and I don't know, is he losing his place? Possibly. I mean, he was subbed for Francis, who is the club captain, and he's finally fit again. So, it's a slight worry going forward.
Because you want... Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, you want, when you mentioned 65 minutes, you want your cheap defenders to actually play, don't you? And the fact that if Rico is going to sit on your bench most weeks, you want the assurance that... I mean, his defenders really unlikely they ever come on, at least with attackers and when they're chasing the game. Or if someone like Rico is, over Christmas, I think you need that assurance that he's going to, start.
Yeah, so if he doesn't play this week, then I think he probably has lost his place. I think Francis is definitely fragile in his sort of fitness. So, one to keep an eye on. And there's obviously that Jack Stacey guy as well. I think he scored in his international. I can't remember who he plays for. But, so that there's 2 guys in the periphery of Rico's place. His stats have fallen off massively as well. He's not in the top 20 for defenders of big chances created, XA, XG, or key passes. His best stat is being 4 shots, which is 13th of all defenders over the last 4 weeks. So, when we were talking about him being at the top of the table, most stats like 4 or 5 weeks ago, he's fallen away big time. So, one to keep an eye on for now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm considering getting rid of him this week, actually. I think it's just, like I say, I've seen these minutes drop off a little bit, and the fact that Bournemouth's fixtures turn so much, I don't really want to be playing him in any of sort of the next, I'd say, 4 or 5. So if I can potentially replace him with a similarly priced defender who is actually going to start, has like 90 minutes in his back pocket every week, then I think it's probably going to be a transfer I'm going to make. Just because I don't have too much to worry about, really.
There isn't really any other 4.3-ish area, so it's probably a 4.5, right? Unless Yanmat, but
sure. No, well, I think if you can stretch to for one of the Sheffield United defenders, that's probably a good look, because most of them are 4.6 now. I think it's only Lundy that's gone up so much. I think he's 4.9, and Kelly seems to have lost his place. Joel Ward could be an interesting one. If he's fit, so 4.5. Same with Gary Cahill, 4.5. Palace are coming out of their really horrible run of fixtures soon, so they could be one to invest in. I think their fixtures turn after Liverpool. They've got Burnley, Bournemouth, Watford, Brighton, and Newcastle the next 5 following that. So they're pretty decent if you're looking for a Rico replacement. Also Willems as well. Actually, we probably should mention he's 4.4, isn't he? He's been doing quite well.
4.6 now.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
He's gone up a bit,
all right. Oh, my bad. All right. I was just going to say on the Wolves side of things, they're looking much better now. They've undefeated in the last 7 games. They've got some good fixtures coming up as well. So after Bournemouth, they've got 3 home games in 4 against Sheffield United, West Ham and Tottenham, and the away game is against Brighton. And I think Jimenez is really sort of making his case again now. And the way my team's sort of set up at the moment, I'm pretty rigid on this 4-4-2. So it's a bit sort of difficult to replace him or Abraham or Vardy at the moment because they're in such good form as well. But if you have got 3 up front, I think Jimenez really needs to be a strong consideration there. 66,000 new owners heading into this game week. He's had the 3rd most points of all strikers in the last 3 game weeks as well. Only Mousse and Vardy, surprisingly. Oh, Mousse, surprisingly, and Vardy have more. And 3 goals, 12 shots in the box, which is more than all of those above him. So, he probably could have had some more.
and 2 goals and assist for Mexico in one game, and only played 20 minutes in the next one, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, no, I really like him. I mean, is that something you've looked at? Aguero downgrade to Jimenez? I mean, the fixtures at the moment are the time to invest, a bit like Arsenal, really. If you're going to get on a Wolves asset now, same with Southampton and Arsenal, these are all teams with turning fixtures, and I think now is the time to get on them.
They also have a fixture in Gameweek 18, a good one as well, when Liverpool blank, so that's a consideration too. But no, I haven't yet. I do want to get on to someone. Definitely been looking at Jimmy, but yeah, for the time being, for me, it's not the right week just yet.
Sure. You got any more to say on Bournemouth?
Quickly, Wilson, obviously his stats have also dropped off massively, and I think I read earlier, I'm not sure if this is right, but apparently he's had only 5 shots on target all season, right? But those are his 5 goals. So is that clinical or just completely atrocious for his stats? I don't know. Not sure what to take from that. I think sell, right? Sell.
Yeah, I think so. Well, also the fact that he's been... he had that great start, but now he's just got these rough fixtures as well as those poor stats. I think there's better strikers for cheaper. I mean, namely Jimenez. So
Jimenez,
sure. I think it makes a timely switch. All right, one of the most anticipated fixtures for me this weekend is Brighton against Leicester, because I think Brighton are really good at home in recent weeks, and obviously Leicester are just trailblazing everyone at the moment. So I think it's actually been quite a tough game for them. How do you see this one working out?
Obviously, Matty Ryan, I hope gets plenty of saves, but with owning Vardy, I hope he concedes a few at the same time. I mean, Brighton have conceded like only 2 big chances at home in the last 4 ties, so that's kind of interesting. Their XGC is 8.01, but they've conceded 7, but those are mostly away from home. They've only conceded 6 at home all season, which is pretty good. But Dunk's suspended, Webster's likely injured, so they're probably going to bring in Balogun or Duffy, or with Duffy, sorry, and Byrne possibly in centre back, and then maybe Bong into wing back. So does that affect their defence? Possibly.
I think it does. Yeah.
I mean, Leicester on fire I don't know, is their defensive home record going to be all that snuff against the Leicester on fire when they're missing 2 of their important centre backs? So yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm leaning towards a Vardy captain at this point. So
I was going to say, because I mean, we've got our teams up on screen now. We haven't talked about them just yet, but for anyone who's watching on YouTube, will have seen by now that you've got the captaincy on Vardy this weekend. I mean, is that purely based on his recent form, or is this as well as Brighton's sort of backline problems, or? Yeah,
pretty much. Those 2 guys being out, Vardy, on fire, on form. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Did 24 points for me last week. Fresh, no international duty. Why not?
Yeah,
it seems like one of the best options to me.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I mean, he's been really good, hasn't he? His XG has been 3.2 in his last 4 and the 6 goals. Obviously, that takes into account that incredible hat-trick against Southampton. But I mean, the XG so much really doesn't apply to Vardy. I mean, he just passes the eye test, doesn't he? I mean, plays 90 minutes every week. He's the focal point of that Leicester attack. He's on pens. He doesn't get, like you say, played in the League Cup, and he's retired from international duty, so he's fresh. And I just think he's a great pick. I mean, his ownership has shot right up, isn't it? I think he's 35% now, so he's bordering on essential status with the fixtures he's got coming up. I mean, Everton, Watford, Aston Villa and Norwich, 3 of the next 4 after Brighton, and 3 of those are at home. I mean, feasibly, I'd say maybe 4 out of these next 5 games, Vardy is a real captaincy option.
Yep.
So I think, he's looking really good. Leicester, as a team, such good form. So they've won 6 of the last 7, and they kept a clean sheet in their last 3. So I think it's time to be considering maybe doubles or triples up on them as we move sort of a little bit away from Man City players. Leicester offering better, I'd say more assured starts from players who are just providing a similar amount of points.
Yeah, I am definitely tempted to triple up, but there's something about me that doesn't trust their mids, and I don't know if I want to double up in defence. So as much as it sounds like a good idea, I don't know if I'm that keen on it. But time will tell. I think that the next 2, Everton at home is really good. I think Watford at home is good, and then obviously Villa and Norwich after that. may just have to just bite the bullet, forget the preconceptions I've got, and just get Maddison or Tielemans in.
Yeah, I also actually wanted to bring up a stat about Vardy, just to show how sort of clinical he is, or maybe how good Lundy is. Lundy has had the same amount of shots in the box, which is 10, as Vardy has had over the last 4 game weeks. So I thought that was pretty impressive. So
Nice
on both sides of things, yeah. A little comparison between Maddison and Tielemans, because I've seen obviously that Maddison and Tielemans are creeping up the overall point standing, and I think Maddison is within 10 points of Sterling now for the season. So when you consider that he's, I think, 4.5-ish million cheaper than him, he starts to become a real consideration. So comparing Maddison and Tielemans over the last 4, they're actually faring very similarly. So Maddison has been outscored by Tielemans by 29 points to 28. The expected points for both very similar, 17.6 for Maddison and 17.8 for Tielemans. Shots in the box, Tielemans is beating Maddison there with 5-3 and big chances created. Surprisingly, Tielemans is beating Maddison in the last 4 with 1-0. So, I mean, I think there isn't a lot to choose between them in those two. Obviously, Maddison came away from the Arsenal game with a goal from outside the box, really well taken, but Tielemans also chipped in with his assist. I mean, if you were just looking at either of those for the next 4 or 5 game weeks, would you be tempted to have one over another? I mean, I've also been looking a little bit at Mason Mountkeek and thinking, is it time to move him on for Leicester's good fixtures?
Yeah, possibly. I kind of like Tielemans just because he's a bit cheaper, and like you said, there's nothing really in it, so the cheaper guy sounds about right. I know that Tielemans is definitely fit. Maddison has had a slight injury worry over the break, so there's that. Not much else to say on that.
Well, I think the defence is something I'm ready to invest in now. When I talk about Rico, I can only afford from where I am Chilwell or Soyuncu. I'm sure a lot of people have also got their eye on Pereira as well, but they're all good. They're all, I think, in the top 5 overall point scorers so far this season. And Chilwell's been really great for England, 2 assists. 3 assists, yeah. And I think he's got 2 in the Premier League. Pereira loves bonus. He's the most... he's received the most bonus of any of the Leicester defenders this season. Soyuncu, he's had 4 shots in the box. That's the second most shots in the box of all defenders in the Leicester team. The top is Evans, surprisingly. I think he's like the least talked about, but if he actually hit a goal or assist, he's only 7 points behind the wing backs. And like a goal or assist there plus the bonus, he'd be matching them. So I think Evans is really one to look at, especially when he's coming in with the most shots in the box of any of the defenders.
He's just that awkward price point, isn't he, of 5 million?
He is.
But yeah, I've definitely considered Chilwell for Tierney. But like I said, I'm just not as keen on that double up in defence.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, for someone on the Brighton side again, as a possible Cantwell replacement, who I have, I don't think you have him anymore, do you?
No, I don't. Got rid of Cantwell.
Yeah, so if you want to keep in the same sort of area, 4.5 million, Alzati, I don't know, from Brighton, 0.1% owned. He's gone completely under the radar, under mine as well, to be honest. And I think he's nailed on. So over the last 6 weeks, he's had 90, 90, 87, 9, 90, 90, 90. So those are the sort of minutes he's played. I guess he was dropped for 1. Not sure why, but yeah, he seems to be nailed. And he's a winger, so he's an attacking winger. And there's the 4.5 million sort of price bracket is not known for the attackers. So yeah, he hasn't had any like FPL returns yet, but the promise is there. Over a busy period of Christmas, I think he's with Cantwell dropping at the moment, or about to drop tonight. I think Alzate might just be a decent replacement because why not?
Yeah, that's not a bad shout at all. I quite like that. All right, I'm going to keep my eye on him. Brighton, their fixtures aren't too bad, and like you say, he's going to be just on your bench fodder over Christmas. And
I don't really think he has any sort of competition in that team. Like nobody else really plays right wing. Trossard is left wing. Gross is sort of left wing middle. So there just isn't really anyone else on the right, and that's his place.
Yeah, I'm really interested to watch Trossard a little more now you mentioned him. I think he's picked or meant to have picked up something on international break, but then it was like claimed it wasn't as bad as first feared. But yeah, he's been looking really good, and as soon as Brighton's fixtures are, I mean, they're good, but they're good-ish. But let's say if they're a little bit more safe, if that makes sense, then I'd be interested in him again. All right. Liverpool against Palace. Which way do you see this one going? I always think whenever I see a Palace fixture, I just at home I notoriously think it's going to be a tough for any opposition. Leicester really ground out a well-fought 2-0 there and quite nullified Palace. I mean, how do you see Liverpool going there?
Well, you imagine Liverpool are going to win, but Palace is sort of I was thinking that they're going to have a really tough time there as well, but their XGC over the last 4 weeks has been 9.43, which is second worst. 8 conceded. So again, if their XGC is really high with 8 conceded, that's again not a good thing. Mane captain. Possibly there's news of Salah and Robertson possibly being out and not recovering from their ankle injuries. I can't see your screen. Does it have Mane captain at the moment?
No, I don't. I've got Sterling captain at the moment.
Oh, okay, right. I think Mane is definitely a consideration considering Palace's sort of XGC at the moment. Trent coming is a possible captain shout as well. They've given up the most chances Palace have from their left-hand side on PVA's side, where obviously Trent crossing in is great. And they've also given up nearly the most headed chances. So Mane, back post. It seems like a good combo. If that Trent assist to Mane header goal comes in, then I would be laughing at least if I captain Mane. That's definitely a consideration. He's in my top 2 for captain. It's Vardy, Mane, possibly Aguero, even KDB at this point. I think Palace are kind of Liverpool's bogey team as well, especially away from home. But Liverpool have kind of managed to get past them in the last couple of seasons with sort of tough victories. But I can see it being a 2-0, 3-0 possibly.
Talking of management, how do you anticipate what's going to happen to Liverpool over this late November and December? Because they've got a lot of games between now and sort of New Year. They've obviously got that game week off, and then they have that I think it's a League Cup game, isn't it, against Villa before they fly around the other side of the world and play a game. I mean, do you foresee, especially with these injuries to important players like Salah and Robbo, do you think there's going to be more rotation from Klopp than we'd usually expect?
You expect so. That I don't know. I think the Club World Cup I can see not main players playing.
Oh, do you think? Okay. I feel like
that's
harder to qualify for, so I would have thought they'd take their 18.
But surely the Premier League is their number one goal this year,
Should
and they can't not play their top team in the Premier League because they've seen this sort of point lead diminish like last year. And they need to keep it up. So I think rotation-wise in the Premier League, I don't think it would be too much, to be honest. Maybe Firmino occasionally gets rotated, but Mane and Salah, assuming they're fit, I don't think will happen much. And Trent and Robert, I don't think will happen much either. Even VVD, I don't think will get rotated. So it's the fringy kind of players, those ones that nobody really owns in Henderson. They've got all those sort of midfield players that can come in. Oxlade-Chamberlain might even be a shout going forward. He's looked great for England, at least. Yeah, so... the main players that most of us own, I don't think it'll be too badly affected. Okay.
I just wanted to bring up Trent against Robbo because we've both discussed the merits of having both of those again for this nice run of fixtures. It's a shame that Robbo's ankle injury has come when it has, but Robbo has done really well he doubled Trent's points in the last 4, so he scored 24, Trent scored 12. But looking a little bit deeper in the underlying stats, you can see Trent's been really unlucky because they have this expected point stat when it comes to fantasy via Opta. And Robbo's had an expected points of 24 over the last 4, and he's matched that exactly. And Trent's had expected points of 22, and he's been 10 off that with the 12. So I think there's still still faith. We should still keep faith in Trent because these fixtures now are nice. I'd probably say over the next 5 they've got coming up, this Palace game is by far the most difficult, and I think you can start to, you'd hope, expect more clean sheets coming before Christmas.
Yeah, I was waiting for hopefully good news of Robbo and Salah being not injured because I was probably going to bring Robertson in or Salah. But now that is a worry and this game being possibly a tough fixture, I'm probably going to hold off for at least next week.
Yeah. I just wanted to flag up a little bit of a comparison because I think a lot of the talk as well, again, was about Salah. So prior to his injury, I'd also thought about doubling up on Mane and Salah. So I did a bit of a comparison between basically the premium mids in the game, so Sterling, Mane and Salah. And it's pretty bad reading for Sterling, really. So points per 90 minutes in the last 4 that they've all started. Mane tops it with 7.6 points per 90. Salah's had 5.2. Sterling's had 4.3. Shots in the box. Salah comes out on top there, 3.5. Sterling actually does all right here. It's 2.8 and Mane 1.8. The XG though, again, Sterling's quite poor, 0.4 per 90. Salah's had 0.8. Mane in the middle on 0.6. So, I mean, just those sort of overview, I'd say the main headline stats I look for when I'm looking at attacking players, and their recent form especially. Sterling isn't doing so well, so I think if Salah recovers in time for that Brighton game in game week 14, it could be a Sterling to Salah switch on there.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of thinking to not do any Aguero moves to Salah or Robbo or whatever this week, just so I can see what they're like. Just be patient a little bit to hopefully they're fit, and then because Brighton at home, Everton at home, Bournemouth away, Watford at home. After that, those fixtures are great, aren't they? Yeah. And even though they've got that blank, I think tripling up is still worthwhile for those.
Well, I think it's easier for me, talking about my own team, so it's going to be a bit boring for everyone, but I'm looking at the structure at the moment. I think it's easier for me to double up on Liverpool mids because of the premiums in there than it is to double up on Liverpool defenders. So, plus, it's Christmas, Kieran. I want to see some goals. I want to see some festive treats from Salah.
That's true.
Yeah. Right then, Everton and Norwich. Should we talk about them? I mean, I've got literally nothing to say about Norwich. Nothing good anyway. So, what have you got to tell me about Everton?
Obviously, fixtures are crap. This game is good for them, but after that, a run of I think 5 or 6 of the traditional top 6 in a row, and Leicester, not great at all. But their stats are actually, as a team, looking pretty good at the moment. So their XGC is 3.44, which is second over the last 4 weeks, only behind Leicester and above the likes of Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Wolves. Pretty good defensively at the moment, and an XG of 7.7, which is 6th overall, 7 scored. So their stats are pretty much equal with what they should be doing. They're performing as expected. Just as their fixtures kind of turn crap, they kind of tend to look better. But they did this last season, and people who sold got punished because they went on a really good run, didn't they? They had 3 or 4 clean sheets in a row against top 6 sides, and if you've got Digne or something, maybe keep him.
What are you trying to tell me? You're going to take Tierney out and bring in Dean, Kieran?
No, I'm not saying that, but might not be the worst shout.
Oh God, Kieran, no.
Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay. On the Norwich side of things, I've just basically got bail out written down. I mean, watch some of that performance against Watford on the Friday Night Football. And the fact that Watford were down to 10 men, I mean, Norwich did have a lot of shots in that game, but the fact they couldn't break Watford down at home and then it conceded a second, it was really poor. So Pukki's still owned by 20% of people, Cantwell 17%, but Pukki, no return since game week 5. I mean, 7 blanks. It's pretty awful. He's had 1 big chance in the last 4 games, 6 shots in the box in the last 4, so he's still outperforming Callum Wilson. So there's some solace there, but other than that, he's just, he's looking poor. Cantwell, 80 minutes in the last 3 games combined. I mean, we do think he's had a bit of a niggling injury, but still, if we're not even getting the minutes off Cantwell, I think you need to get rid of him. I mean, I managed to buy him just before he rose a couple of times in price, and I managed to sell him just in time. But I think he's dropping, isn't he, like a stone a little bit. So I think if you can sell now to avoid value, or to avoid losing value, it'd be a good idea to do so.
I'm probably going to do that in Cantwell to Zate, just because I don't know about anything else just yet because of the Liverpool worries, basically.
Yeah, I think it's the Everton clean sheet, personally, in this one. Norwich have failed scored their last 5 away. They can't defend, either 10 goals conceded in their last 5. So I think if you've got an Everton player this game week, then I think you'd be rubbing your hands. Yeah,
I just want to mention Sidibe as well. Yeah, he's benched the club captain in Coleman for the last 4 weeks, and he's played 90 in every one. He's had a 9, a 1, a 2, and a 4 in that time, so 2 assists. Not many clean sheets, but still doing well. He's an attacking fullback in the likes of Mendy, Digne, TAA sort of thing. And yeah, he likes bonus if he gets a clean sheet or any sort of return. If he's still fit and nailed on at the end of this sort of bad run they've got of from game week 19 to 26, their fixtures look favourable. They got Man City in 21, but despite that, the rest of those fixtures are really good. So yeah, it's Sidibe if he's nailed on at 5.3% and 0.2% owned.
Big differential.
I like him. Yeah, and his stats compared to Digne are not that different. The big difference is Digne's key passes is 14 versus 3, but shots wise they're 2 versus 1, an XG of 0.04 and 0.05. So yeah, basically the same. The XA is a slight difference again of 1.26 versus 0.89, but it's not massive. And then points is 13 versus 16. So yeah, 5.3 for Sidibe. Yeah, he might be worth that sort of cheaper price, basically.
I think I'd probably consider Sidibe if I was going to be doing a free hit this game week, because it's a great fixture. But after that, I'm not sure I can see the returns.
I'm looking at him from 19 really.
Okay.
But at the moment, like he is looking good. He's benching Coleman, and if he is still fit from 19 onwards, this is the start of us sort of looking at him to bring him in eventually.
Yeah. What about Richarlison? I mean, do we think he's going to bang this game week? Hat-trick, couple of goals, maybe?
Maybe not a hat-trick, but no, I fancy him to get something. He's ticking along nicely, 6-5, 2 and 10 in his last 4 weeks.
Yeah, that is good, yeah.
Yeah, his XG is kind of low at 1.13 over 4 weeks, which is behind Almiron of all people, who's not scored ever for Newcastle. But yeah, no, I do like him, and then from game week 19, like Sidibe, possibly worth bringing him in, maybe. Yeah, because they got a good run. So
no, I like it. I just think we talked about it the week before game week 12. I thought Richarlison could be a good punt for these two fixtures. Obviously, turned out with a 10-pointer last time out. I should have done that Sterling to Richarlison transfer, Keek. Bottled it big time. Anyway, let's go on to Watford against Burnley. I think Burnley still on sort of like maybe 2 more good fixtures before it turns a little bit sour for a bit with Watford and Crystal Palace after this. Watford and Crystal Palace in the next 2 before they have Man City and Tottenham. I think they looked good, didn't they, last time out against a poor West Ham side. McNeil looks like he's been doing well, so he's the 5th highest scoring mid in the last 4. I think that's for midfielders who are less than 6.5. So, and it's not a huge category, but the only 2 above him are Perez and Barnes, who obviously had those monster hauls, like freak returns against Southampton. So yeah, I think he could be top of the best of the rest midfielders, if that makes sense, if not for those 2.
Yeah, I poo-poo him every week.
You do poo-poo him.
Yeah, no, I am coming around to him. I do quite like him.
Yeah, well, he's
consistent.
He is consistent, yeah. 5 points per game in the last 4, 20 points, 2 assists and a goal in that time. And yeah, he doesn't seem like he has a massive goal threat, even on the eye test or the XG, but it's just those assists, and he's got such good delivery. If Barnes and Wood are in the box, Barnesy, Woodsy. Every time Sean Dyche speaks, he puts a Y and an S somehow on the end of it.
That doesn't really work.
McNeilsy. And he does things to players' names. But yes, I'd expect some more points in these next 2 games from McNeil. So
over Christmas as well, with those fixtures pile up, I think he'll probably play all the minutes as well. So yeah, he's reliable.
Definitely. Can I just say, while we're just on Burnley before we move on, finally Nick Pope. He scored more than double the amount of points in game week 12 that he had in the previous 3 game weeks combined. So, yeah, felt a bit of relief, but I still look at Ryan, because the way Brighton are playing with these passing stats, he's just racking up bonus for basically kicking the ball to defenders.
You probably thought, oh yes, Brighton have conceded. Yeah, I'm getting the one up on Ryan finally.
And then look, gets a 7-pointer and gets beat 3-1. That's the magic of like the 4 points whatever million goalkeepers, because an Edison isn't very rarely going to be battered like with shots and rack up a ton of saves, and same with Alisson and get off bonus off the back of it. So yeah, the cheapy goalies are the way to go. All right, try and sell Watford players to me, Keek.
There's not much to say. I'm going to forget about Yamak because whatever. But Jerry D I thought looked quite good last week. He's had 7 and 2 in his last 7 and 12 in his last 2. Coming into a bit of form, he looked a menace versus Norwich, to be honest. And then Deeney is probably going to be back this. I think who was it? Was injured I think it was Pereira was about to come off and Deeney was warming up to come on, but didn't in the end. So yeah, I think Deeney will finally come back this week, and he's probably going to take the attention away from Jerry D. So hopefully he can sort of run around him and do well. So yeah, I would think he could possibly get something here.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't though. He's a bit of a troll.
What do you reckon? Jerry D gets a penalty, Pope saves it? That would be good, wouldn't it?
Hopefully not.
No, it would be good.
Like
Two stats about this fixture which really made me laugh. Watford have failed to win their last 10 home ones, and Burnley have failed to win their last 8 away games. So it's going to be a draw, Kieran. 0-0 draw.
Well, hopefully not, because I don't want to poke clean sheet. But anyway.
Any more to add on that one?
No, let's move on
That's
to
like the most
the biggie.
boring fixture of the game week. Yes. Man City against Chelsea. I think Chelsea got a good chance of winning this one, Man City's defensive form has been poor and Chelsea are good on the road.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a goal fest, honestly. Whenever I do hope for a goal fest, it never is, but I think this one could be. Man City and Chelsea, neither defence look good. City's XGC is 4.52, which is 6th. You don't often hear that from them. 4 conceded. But yeah, Chelsea's XG is obviously pretty good, and they're scoring lots of goals. The Chelsea lads doing it for England, haven't they? So, I expect goals, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I think Lampard's lads have really come through this season. I mean, Tammy's a great example of how well they're playing on the road as well. 53 points away from home this season compared to 28 at home. He's now the most owned player in the game, more than 50%. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Considering that when we sort of started FPL this season, none of us had any idea about the Chelsea striker, and we all
ex-Swansea striker.
And we just looked at it and thought, well, there's 3 options there. They're all 7 million. They're probably all like 0.5, maybe even 1 million too high. But Abraham has really taken his chance, and I'm pleased for him really because he's looking like a proper Premier League centre forward. I think all that time at Villa last season has really helped him come on. And I think, this season's a real breakthrough one for him. So, and it was good to see him get his goal for England.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've got Abraham and Mount, keeping both, I think. So I've got Aguero and KDB. So hoping for massive goal fest, as I said. Aguero wise, I think I'm still keeping him. I think, even though I said I'm interested in Aubameyang, I'm interested in Kane. I just don't feel like this is quite the game to get rid of Aguero, especially at home.
Yeah.
He played 0 minutes in one game and 90 minutes in another in the international break. He got a goal in that one he did play against a tough opposition in Uruguay. So big game player again there. But he's 14th for forwards in XG in the Premier League for the last 4 weeks of 1.26. But he's 14th despite playing half the minutes of the rest of the forwards. He's had 10 shots, 10 in the box, but only 2 on target, which is obviously a slight worry. But it's Aguero, so I'm not too concerned about that. Jesus I think played 90 in both games, or 90-ish. So he's not going to be as fresh. He's travelling back double the distance. I've looked into this stuff compared to Aguero. So Aguero should be a bit fresher, big game player like against Liverpool. Didn't do it then, but great record against Chelsea. Got a hat-trick last year in this fixture. So Aguero is staying for me for now.
Does Champions League kick off after this game week? Is Champions League back?
It does, yeah.
So that's
but they're pretty much through, so I imagine Jesus will play that like last time.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, you were going to ask me something.
I was going to say, what do you think of me keeping Aguero at this point?
Well, I know from last season that he scored a hat-trick, didn't he, against Chelsea in that home game. And I do always quite like a historical stat. Like I didn't mention it earlier, but Jimenez scored in the game against Bournemouth last season. So I do think that's quite important. But then you look at there's other players and teams who are actually starting and playing 90 minutes, namely Aubameyang and Kane in that price with good fixtures. And Jimenez.
He's going to go next week. So even though he's playing Newcastle next week, it's away, and I think I'll finally know about Liverpool assets, and Aguero will be gone next week. It's just this week where I think it's going to be a goal fest, and I think he's going to get a brace or something. So
okay. No, to be honest, I'd probably keep him as well. I'd be a bit reserved like you already are on captaining him, because it's just that lack of security when it comes to starts and all the travelling and whatnot. But I think he could be a good option this week.
Agree.
Pulisic, it looks like he might have picked up an injury in his international break. before that, I think he was performing quite well, wasn't he? Outscored
He was.
Tammy in the last 4. 9.5 points per game as well. 13 shots in the box. It is big, isn't it? Most of any player in the game. By comparison, Sterling's had 12, Salah's had 10. So all that sort of like promise we had when he joined the league, thinking, he was going to be like a real option, and he'd come in fairly reasonably priced. And now after he's had his little rest, he's sort of showing us what he's all about.
I mean, to me, when I watch him eye test wise, I don't think he ever looks that involved.
No.
To be honest. So with 13 shots, most of any player in the game, it seems kind of like where have they come from?
Yeah.
I like him, but I also don't trust him. So Mount, I think for me is staying for now. I'm probably not going to do that switch anytime soon unless Mount looks like he's going to be, I don't know, dropped or not getting any returns. But I think if Pulisic doesn't play this game, Mount will go into the front three again, and so fingers crossed he does well there in Pulisic's absence, and the people who sold or made that switch are going to get punished.
Yeah, I don't want to be too hasty to sell Mount. I mean, he's blanked a couple of times, but he plays 90 minutes for this Chelsea squad. He's on set pieces, free kicks and corners and whatnot, and they've got 3 tasty home fixtures after this City game. And I even don't think this City game's a bad fixture for them, as mad as it sounds. They're good. He's
going to be confident after his first England goal as well. Tammy and Mount both getting first England goals. They're going to be confident in this game. Yeah,
no, I'm looking forward to it. I do think it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a bit of a goal fest, and I do think it will be too. What do you think about KDB? Because he'd been quiet, but he'd done all right for Belgium, hasn't he? Nicked a goal in their international game.
Nicked a goal. He got 2 goals, 3 assists in this international break. So, yeah, obviously they played bad teams. But, 4 blanks in his last 5. I think he's due a haul, and I think that's... I hate saying due a haul, but I think that could be this week.
He's due a haul.
Yeah, I can see a couple assists coming, maybe a goal. He's top for key passes of 14 in midfield's last 4 weeks. His XA is 1.50, which is 4th. His 2 big chances created, which is 7th for midfielders. And he's been very unlucky not to get a couple of assists for Aguero, but I think twice in the Liverpool game he was unlucky. And obviously that one where he was Jesus was through and could have literally just passed it to him and he would have had a goal.
Yeah, that's true.
He could have had an assist in that game as well. So the stats are not showing that sort of unluckiness. I think he's possibly even a captain shout. Like you've got on Sterling, I think KDB is possibly a captain shout as well.
And he always does better at home as well. Or he's been doing better at home this season as well. And I think Chelsea will play Chelsea come in here to try and win, aren't they? Chelsea are above City in the league at the moment. They're not going to come in and try and sit in and defend because they can't on the road this season. There's going to be plenty of chances for City to score in this one.
Chelsea haven't kept a clean sheet all season away from home, so you don't think that's going to start against Man City, that's for sure.
No way.
And I don't think they can keep it quiet either. It's going to be more than one, surely.
Yeah.
If you've got City assets and you're probably selling, thinking, oh god, they've been crap and their fixtures are not that great. Yes, Man City, let's not be forgetting that, and don't be afraid of this fixture.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, should we move on to Sunday's fixtures?
Yes.
Do you feel like we should have a cool transition music to get over to Sunday?
Is there some sort of Super Sunday transition music?
That would be copyrighted. Do you want to just Sunday? Sunday. Cool. All right, we'll work on that because I think it was a bit of a work in progress. All right. There's only one game on Super Sunday, and it's not even that super, I don't think. Sheffield United 1, Man United 0 will be the final score. And it'll be clean sheets all round from our Sheffield United defenders.
Ooh, I'm not sure.
That's the preview done. Who's going to score for United then?
Rashford looks good at the moment.
Kieran,
as much as I hate to say
can't believe it.
You got to. No, he does though. He's looked good for England. He looks decent for United at the moment. Martial coming back in, those two working together. I can see with Egan being injured, Henderson's not available because he's obviously against his parent club. Yeah, there's 2 players in that defence who aren't usually there being plugged in. I think Man United could win this fairly easily, actually. I think a 2-0 or something could happen. So I don't know, is it just they're different players being plugged into the system and it just doesn't matter who goes in there for Sheffield United in their defence, or is Egan and Henderson out going to affect them? I think it will, personally.
Well, I've got some stats about how poor United have been on the road. So sit back and think about these, and then maybe you'll revise your statement. Maybe
No,
United have not failed to win 9 of their last 10 away games. In terms of total FPL points for all players in away games this season, United have the 3rd worst. So only players of Norwich and Burnley have scored less on the road. I mean, that is just atrocious. So bad. I mean, that's why they're so far down the league. But despite that, they have the 3rd highest XG, this is United still, of all teams playing away from home this season. Only Chelsea and City have scored more. So I don't know if that says they've been really unlucky or they've been really wasteful. They've just missed a lot of big chances, but it depends how. I don't think they're going to be able to break down this Sheffield United side. I mean, this is a side that kept a clean sheet against Arsenal, really limited Liverpool, and they got Liverpool came away from there with a lucky win. I said lucky win. Sorry, lucky goal. They might have scored another way, but yeah, I can't see United coming there and scoring a couple.
I mean, McTominay's going to be out as well, right? I think he's still injured. And he's kind of been a decent sort of like peg in the sort of engine room for United. So yeah. I think that might be a little bit of a worry. But yeah, I think Rashford, if he'd scored those 2 penalties he had, he would have been sort of like 5 points behind Vardy or something of overall points. So yeah, it's something to think about. Obviously, he didn't score them, but yeah. I can see a penalty here for Rashford, maybe. Yeah,
well, I think the main thing to mention from United point of view is just how much the attacking side of their game improves with Martial back in the squad. I mean, Martial scored 38 points in his 6 starts this season, so that's an average of 5.4 points per game. And how that affects the overall sort of team XG is quite staggering, really. So United's XG per game between game weeks 10 and 12 when Martial's been back has been 3.01 per game, so basically 3 goals a game average. In the 3 game weeks before that, it was 0.9 per game. So,
see what I'm saying? That stat, makes it better.
Right, it makes it better. But I'm just saying, for United to have Martial back, they're nearly as good as Liverpool from an attacking sense, and Liverpool only scored 1 lucky goal against Sheffield United. I think it's going to be a tough game for United on Sunday.
Lundstrom's going to take out Martial, and he's going to be injured for the next 5 weeks.
Whoa.
But yeah, speaking of Lundstrom, he's now 41.9% owned. 4.9 million, probably close to going up to 5 at this point. He's nearly 50% owned, sort of near the sort of Tammy rank. So I think the only sort of way to get any points from him now is definitely never to bench him again. He's top for XG of defenders in the last 4 weeks of 1.74, 2 goals, could have had a hat trick. Top for shots of 11, first for big chances. Waxing lyrical about Lundstrom.
We love him.
Have him if you don't, just get him. But yeah, there's not much else to say on him. Just he's essential status.
Is he going to be 5 million before this game week? Do you think? Is he going to do another price rise? That would be exciting, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure where he is at the moment, but yeah, I would imagine so.
I hope so. Anything else to add on this one?
Let's move on.
All right, Villa against Newcastle, the Monday night football. I've not got a whole heap to say on Newcastle, so maybe you can try and say maybe a little bit more on Villa.
I mean, their XG is 6.6, which is 10th, middle of the pack, 4 goals, so they're slightly underperforming.
Is that for the season or
last 4 weeks? Sorry, okay. Every time I do these things, it's last 4 weeks because season wide it doesn't take into fact like form and things like that. And teams and XGC is 9.24, which is 16th at 8 conceded. So Newcastle obviously bad XG wise, so I can't expect too many goals in this fixture. Only player to really mention is McGinn. He's been dropping slightly further back recently, but 2 goals for Scotland, I think, in the international break.
Nice.
So hitting a little bit of form. Last 4 weeks, he's had 10 shots, 3 on target, 6 in the box. That's pretty good for someone at 5.8 million. An XG of 1.20, good. Key passes of 5, big chances created of 1. Yeah, so I quite like him. His fixtures are obviously pretty tough. This Newcastle game is probably his best one. But then Man United away, Chelsea away, both who have good sort of defences at home. Then Leicester at home is obviously tough. Sheffield United, again, a tough game for scoring. So the next 4 after Newcastle is looking, I don't know, kind of wretched for them in the sense of scoring. But McGinn and sort of Villa are the team that you think probably can get a goal a game at least. So, and McGinn is often involved, and I do quite like him, to be honest. I don't want to see his points go awry from my team for much longer. But yeah, possibly from Sheffield United onwards, I may get him in from then.
Interesting. Yeah, I have quite liked McGinn this season, but I haven't quite decided if he's like a good fifth midfielder if you're going to play 3-5-2, or he's reliable enough to be fourth midfielder. If that makes sense.
I think he's a fourth midfielder.
Fourth. Yeah, I do like him, and he's one of those players you want to own over Christmas. He plays 90 minutes every game. He runs around like, I don't know, there's two of him, and he just fires off shots all the time. So he's well involved with Villa. Just their fixtures at Man United away and Chelsea away game, and Leicester and Sheffield United, I all see them as sort of like say tricky. But after that, Southampton and Norwich, I think that's around Christmas time. It should be good. On the Newcastle side of things, their fixtures are still looking really nice. Man City, which basically was, I think their only tough game within sort of like in the next 5. They've got trips to Villa, Sheffield United and Burnley, and they also have Southampton at home as well as City. So they're not doing too badly. From an attacking point of view in this game, it could be a good one for Newcastle. Villa have conceded at least 2 goals in the last 3 home games. But it's probably going to be a defender that scores them, because Joelinton, Almiron and San Maximan are just chaos. It's actually Clark and Willems who lead the way with shots in the box in the last 4 game weeks of all Newcastle players. They both have 4. So I thought that was quite surprising, the centre-back and the wing-back.
I even looked at St. Maximan, not going to lie, as a Cantwell upgrade. I think he looks great. He looks such a menace. His end product is terrible, but someday soon he's going to get a haul, and
probably against Man City.
It's going to be a 17-odd point one, and I'm just waiting for it. But
he's chaos.
I'm probably never going to own him, but yeah, I do like him. He's fun to watch. He's fast. He's rapid as hell. So.
Yeah, he is. Willems is actually the top scorer in Newcastle player this season, so Sam Maximan's got to do a little bit to dislodge him still. Like you say, Willems, you're right, it's 4-6. He's had 7 shots in the box and 2 big chances this season. So, I mean, they're not bad numbers for a wing-back, and these fixtures are quite good. And the fact that he's registered the most shots on the box in the last 4 game weeks is a good sign for him. So I think if you're going to invest in a Newcastle player, potentially after that Man City game, Willems could be a good benchable option over the Christmas period.
Yep.
Cool. All right. I think, Kieran, that wraps up our fixture preview bit. We're going to do the Cougar Cup picks now. This is where we go really off plan, really, because I've not thought about my Cup picks very much.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know exactly.
Right, who's going first then?
You better go first.
Well, I think the way you were talking about it earlier, you want to pick him, so I'm going for Richarlison.
Oh, I was going to pick Richarlison.
7.4%.
Oh, God.
Norwich at home. Looks in good form, so he's my boy.
Can't believe it. Well, I was, as soon as we got down to Cougar Cup picks, I was thinking, right, who can I pick? So while you're talking about Villa, I was checking to see how highly owned this player was. Just to see if I can cash in on him. Now then, it's a player we've spoken about tonight. He's a big differential. He's owned by less than 2% of the game, and he plays for Arsenal. Who do you think it might be?
Oh, but no, we haven't mentioned Bellerin, have we?
No.
Lacazette.
It is Lacazette, yeah, less than 2%.
Okay, yeah, nice, yeah.
Against Southampton. So yeah, big differential on the Cougar Cup pick. So there you go.
Less than 2%.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised.
I think Arsenal fans will be on him at least.
Yeah. I know. Well, obviously, not many of them. Okay, right. Good Cup picks done. Tick. Yep. Clean sheets, Kieran.
Okay, so Everton, I think, is fairly nailed on for one against Norwich.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I've got Arsenal down here. I think maybe it's wishful thinking if I'm playing Tierney, and then Leicester, I think I'll probably get one as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in that Leicester one. I mean, totally no bias aside, considering the fact I'm playing double Sheffield United defence. I think Sheffield United are going to get one against United just because United are poor on the road and Sheffield United are good defensively.
Oh, God.
They nearly kept a clean sheet against Spurs as well, Kieran.
Yeah, true.
Sheffield United are a good defensive team, and there's points in their defenders. It's not like they're just there to defend either.
True.
All right, so
transfers?
There's that. Transfers, Kieran. Well, I don't really know. I'm stuck in this 4-4-2. You haven't seen my team this week, but I'm playing Trent, Rico, Lundstram and O'Connell at the back, and I'm thinking it's this week to get rid of Rico, despite not having him very long, and replacing him with one of the Leicester boys, potentially Chilwell or Soyuncu, because I'd get Pereira, but I can't afford him by 0.1.
I would just get Sionku to just do extra things with the extra money.
No, I'm probably gonna. So the plan probably is I've nearly bottled Danny Ings now, which I'm a bit irritated about. But I think Leicester are a better team, and I think I can rely on them more for attacking points over the next 4 than I can Southampton are a worse team. So yeah, I think Soyuncu's coming in, and I think Mount might get upgraded week after next, but I'm not sure because I do like him. So yeah, Soyuncu probably in for Rico this week.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm doing Cantwell to Alzate, just because Cantwell's about to drop. He's an issue, and the other moves I could do would be selling Aguero, upgrading Tierney, changing Rico, and none of those kind of feel right this week because they would involve 2 transfers, and I don't want to burn both.
No.
When I would still sort of possibly have Aguero in my team, and Cantwell who's dropping. So for now I think it's Cantwell to Alzate, and see what's happening with the Liverpool guys next week, and then make moves then.
Ideal. Yeah, no, that sounds all good to be honest. Yeah, I like it. Just looking forward to this game week. To be honest, it feels like it's been a long 2 weeks without Premier League football, and I mean, we were talking about it before we came on. I've not really given FPL much thought until this weekend. I've just had a total switch off from it. So yeah, it feels good to get back into it. I'm looking forward to this game week.
I'm still also considering Aguero to Kane and Tierney to someone, but I don't know. No, probably not.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Anyway, but I agree. Looking forward to football finally again.
What do you think is the pick of the game? The game of the game week. Surely going to be Man City, Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did we do a score prediction? Sure. I don't think we did we?
No, I'm hoping for like a 2-2 or something at least.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
at
2
least
goals for both teams.
At least
please.
2-2. God bloody hell.
And a quiet good one I think will be that first one, West Ham Spurs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, some good games on this weekend. I think Sunday is boring though. I'm really not interested in Sheffield United, Man United. So all the action on Saturday. So hope we're both on some big green arrows.
We'll go play crazy golf or something.
Woohoo! Look at this.
Yeah, let's get out
FPL
the house.
Cougars date. Cool. Yep. All right, everyone. Thank you for. Do you know we're still recording it? We're just hooking up, just planning our days.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Ideal. All right. Thanks to everyone for joining us. We will be back next week with our Game Week 14 preview. Wednesday evening most likely. If you have any questions, comment on the video. While you're down there, subscribe. If not, you can tweet us at FPL Cougars, and we'll try our best to answer any questions you do have. Cool. All right. Until next week. And all that. It's goodbye from me.
Cheers and good luck.
Bye-bye, everyone.